All right. Hello, world. And welcome to the Big Black Book NYC featured entrepreneur of the month for October. She is Shauna Noel. She is the owner, founder, and recipe director for Tasting Queens Market. Say hello to the world, Shauna.
Hello, everybody. Hi.
Hi. So
Good to be here.
yes, it's so good to have you. So thank you for joining us and excited to learn about your business and how you've been developing as a business owner. So let's just get right into it. Why,
Sure.
yes. Why don't you share about your business a little bit and how you even became an entrepreneur, how you got started?
Yeah. So, Tasting Queens Market was in the works a little bit for a while. I would say probably about 2017, I started toying with the idea. And so it was based on a blog that I was writing, and I would go all over Queens to all of the ethnic restaurants and taste their food, then write about it, and then recreate recipes for my followers and that kind of thing. And so there were people who were asking for, oh, if there's a specific sauce or something, why can't you just sell that to us? And so the idea was there. But I was an executive chef at the time. I was in corporate executive chef. And I didn't have time to really see it through, and I would start doing it. I had like a hot sauce and a green marinade, and you know and that was it. But I couldn't really see it through the way I wanted to, because I worked about 80 hours a week on a good week, sometimes more. There are times where I worked over a month without a day off. So there was no way I could also do that and this. And then in 2018, I was having a baby, total shock to me. But he was coming, and I had to figure out how my life was going to change. And it presented the perfect storm, I will say, and all the right opportunities for me to just do something on my own and really explore what this market that I wanted to create and how I was going to do that. So while I was a stay-at-home mom, I started plotting and planning on how I was going to do this, what that looked like, now that I could really put all my attention towards it. And so Tasting Queens Market was officially launched last year, February. So I got everything going. I started recipe testing and sending out, and I did like feelers, sales and stuff like that. And when I got all the information I needed, we officially launched in February of 2020, just before the pandemic. So that's how we got started.
I'm gonna ask you a little bit more about that in a second, actually. But yeah, I think this is really good information because sometimes uh, people on the outside think that entrepreneurs just start something and then, or you have an idea and like it instantly has to happen. But
Right.
it wasn't for you. It was kind of like an evolution, and then you got kind of like pushed into it.
Yes,
And
exactly.
yeah.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. So, uh, how did that work for you? Maybe, you could share with entrepreneurs, even though March 2020 has gone past, the world's still changing and there's
Yeah.
a lot of changes happening and people are still needing to pivot and make pivots. So what are some things that you did? Like you were a new business owner at the beginning
Yeah.
and then everything just changed. How
Yeah.
did you adapt?
So I think, the good thing about the kind of business that I have was that I was able, at least for the first couple of months, I will say, to adapt and to by tapping into people's need for new recipes, new ideas, new foods, because they were most of us were quarantined. Well, all of us were, if you were listening, you were quarantined besides, your essential workers. But and so people were home and people were a little bored and people were taking a lot more risks with food, cuisines that they normally would not try, they were willing to try. And so I kind of said, you know what, there's something there for me too. And so I was doing like live virtual cooking lessons, and I would use my sauces and spices, and that kind of helped me introduce people to my product. And then I was trying to ship as fast as possible so they can have their things. I did recipe cards in the packages, so they can make things. So that's what really got me through those first couple of months. Later on, it got a little more difficult as people's financial situation really started to tighten, and people started to worry about where they're gonna get funds to take care of their family, so they were shopping a little less. But yeah, it took a lot of thought and it took a lot of perseverance, and just like that stick to itness, that you just don't give up regardless. There were times where I'd go maybe 2 weeks and there's not one sale, and I have a kid to feed, and I started to worry, but I had to go back to what I believed, and that was a belief in myself that I could do this, a belief in my product that it was good enough to survive, and so I kind of stuck to that and then just pushed through. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so important that we believe in ourselves. Like
Mm-hmm.
that we believe as entrepreneurs that one, we can do it, and two, that like what we have to offer is of
Yes.
value. Because if we don't believe it, why would we expect someone else to?
Exactly. So that really, I'm telling you, like that digging deep and really just, obviously we all have our moments where we doubt, and where it can get really tough.
Mhm.
But then if you have that foundation of, I can do this,
Yes.
constantly, like your inner dialogue, and that undertone is always, okay, this is really hard, but I could do this. Sales are really slow, but I could do this. If that is the undertone to everything, you find a way to make it work. I'm telling you, you'll find a way, and opportunities will present themselves for you to be able to move forward. You really just gotta believe.
Yeah, I think when we have that idea that, because I'll be honest, like even as a photographer, right? When I'm thinking I can do this, then like my mind is more alert to look for those
Yes,
opportunities than in the moments where I'm like, no one wants me because
exactly.
there's 35 million other photographers in New York City, right? And then my mind just kind of like isn't that alert to look for
Yeah,
those opportunities. Yeah.
exactly. That's exactly right.
Yeah, for sure. And then it also sounds like your pivot initially was like you used people's needs to your advantage. Like people
Yeah,
needed, they were like bored, they were stressed out. Everyone took up baking. I mean, I
yeah,
took like the biggest plate of chocolate chip cookies at one point.
yeah.
Like, what am I going to do with all these? Eat them. I think I froze some.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's the resourcefulness that you have to tap into as an entrepreneur. You have to be adaptable, and the more you think of things outside the box, and also you not being definitely being structured, but not being so structured that you're rigid, because rigid things break. um, so you have to be pliable, you have to be adaptable. You have your structure, you have your business goals, you have your business plans, but be willing to stretch those a little bit. Be willing to think beyond those little boxes, and what else can I do that's maybe adjacent to what I think I should be doing. So you're not like starting a new business, but it's close enough to what your intended original idea was, that you can still create resources for yourself.
Yeah, yeah. Awesome. Thank you. Those are like, definitely pearls.
Yeah.
Stretch it. Yes. So, you spoke a little bit about it earlier, I'm
Mhm.
curious how you, as a businesswoman, as a new mom, and with everything else going on, how do you keep everything, and including time for yourself, right?
Yeah.
It's important. Moms don't get that enough, and
Yeah.
so yeah. So how do you keep it all in harmony?
I will. Oh, that was loud. I'm sorry about that.
No problem.
I will admit that it is still a constant juggle, struggle. It's still very, very hard. And now I have to literally remind myself, because especially now with my business is growing in so many different areas, and there's so many moving parts going on, to remind myself, especially with my son, um, that he needs a mommy. So I have to literally, sometimes I'm in the middle of working and I have to literally stop myself to say, okay, time to take him outside, or time to take him for a walk, or time to just sit with him and play. And the same goes for personal time. I literally have to tell myself, like, I'll be going and doing event after event, or new recipes and packaging and worrying about this and that. And I have to say, you know what? No, you're not gonna do anything this Saturday afternoon. And you're just going to maybe barbecue or whatever you love to do, or just veg out and watch TV. Just whatever it is that rejuvenates you for a little bit. You're just not gonna work today. Like, you can ship that order tomorrow. You just sometimes need to tell yourself to stop. I think, like, the message really that I have learned is that you have to talk to yourself. Your internal dialogue dictates so much, and it's also what drives you. If you're telling yourself negative things, then your environment becomes negative. Everything around you is toxic. You have to tell yourself the words that your inner person, your spirit, if you whatever you believe, that inner consciousness then needs to keep going. And so literally I have to tell myself, no, Shauna, you're gonna stop right now. And after this, you're not making it, you're not nope, don't restock that today. Sit down, or make your son something nice for dinner. And I tell myself those things. And that's how, I take the time and I make sure that I'm a present mom, because I don't want him to grow up, thinking, okay, mom was great at this, but mom wasn't present. And if that was the case, I could have stayed in my previous career, and I would not. That was my worry. My worry was working 80 plus hours. I would not be present for his life. And so if I made the switch, it has to be working for him as well as working for me. So it's a constant struggle. It's a juggle, because there's so much to do, but I got to remind myself that I come first, right? Because if his mom is not healthy and centered and happy, then I can't raise a happy, centered, and well kid. I can't do it if I'm not okay. So I got to make sure I'm okay, and then I'm in a space where I can give him the nurturing that he needs. So, but yeah, it's not easy at all. It's not easy.
It's not, but I think that internal dialogue is important. Like, there's 10,080 minutes in a week. So if
Yeah,
you keep in mind, it's like, I have plenty of time. I can absolutely afford to take like 60 minutes to take a
yeah,
break, or I can
yep,
take the, whole 8 hours of the day off and still have
yeah,
plenty of other minutes left
exactly.
to get
Yep,
things done. Yeah. Yeah.
that's so true.
So, what do you feel so far has been the
Mhm.
biggest factor in your success as an entrepreneur?
I would say it's a couple of things, but I have to say number one is my faith and my family. And my faith first, because I believe certain things, and I believe that this was meant for me to be doing, and I can feel down in my tippy toes that I am meant to be in this space right now doing exactly what I'm doing. And I am 100% convinced of that. And then my family really come through for me in ways that are unreal. They are, even when I was in, as a corporate chef, they would literally be my other sous chefs. I'd have sous chefs who'd go home, and then my family would show up for catering gigs and help out. My dad washed dishes in my kitchens, mopped floors. I'm telling you. So, my family are troopers, and now they nothing has changed. They show up for me. They help me. My mom does like my inventory, and she keeps me on schedule, and she lets me know. For example, like today, you have, it's 10 minutes. You have 10 minutes. You have that meeting. She really, really, she watches my son when I go to pop-up events. So I couldn't do this without them. And then that belief that, that keeps driving me, and also really having really delicious products. So that doesn't hurt.
It does
That
not
doesn't
help.
hurt.
It hurts. It does not
Yeah.
help. I mean,
Yeah,
sorry, it helps. It does not hurt. So,
exactly. So
yes,
yeah, that's true.
yes. That's awesome. They do say teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're really, I'm telling you, they're ride or die. They're really, really, I couldn't do anything without them. I worked from a line cook. I worked myself up from a line cook to an executive chef in 3.5 years. And I couldn't have done that without my family. When I had my first restaurant line cook job and I would close the restaurant and there was so much to do, same thing, my dad and my mom would come to the restaurant and help me close up. They would, clean steam tables, like, yeah, mop the front of the serving station. My mom would help me prep for the day's service.
Yeah.
I am telling you, my family, they're it. They're it. So faith and family.
That's amazing. That's a blessing. That's above
Yeah.
and beyond.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, that's not your average family.
Yeah. Yeah. They're a little,
Yeah,
they're
that's
great.
awesome. So happy for you. So, what do you feel the next level of success looks like for you?
So that actually, I have some really exciting news. You're going to be the first one that I share this publicly with. But the next step is November, we are opening our first Tasting Queens Market spice shop. And that was always my dream. My dream is Tasting Queens Market. And that's why I chose the name, because I blogged under the name Tasting Queens, but I added the market because I saw that as the next place that I want it to be. I
Mhm.
literally want to build this into a marketplace that's popping up not just in Queens, not just in North Carolina, but across the country and eventually globally. And it's specialty. There's really nothing like this. And so we're going to be opening the first one. It's in North Carolina, and I'm hoping that by next summer we can have our New York location, so we can be both places that I love and that inspire me. But yes, so that's the next level of success, is I cut that ribbon and open the doors. This one is going to be a spice shop, so not all of our online inventory is going to be available, but we will focus on our spices and teas and hot sauces, everything to keep your life buzzing and delicious.
Yes, I think that's important. It kind of creates like a little bit of a niche and sets you apart.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. So I'm really, really excited. Really excited for that.
yeah. And there's going to be tea, so there's going to be all different types of spices.
Yes, I can't live my life without tea. And so and our tea line has expanded. People love it. And as a tea lover, that's like one of the most amazing things to me is now to be able to create and curate my own teas. It's like, so it's really a moment. So I'm really, really grateful, and I'm looking forward to expanding that as well. Our tea lines it's really, really, it's some good tea. So yeah, the teas will definitely be available.
Cool. I'm looking forward to trying mine. I haven't had a chance. I just opened the box yesterday, but I'm gonna
Oh, take
try
your
next week.
time.
Yes. So, what do you feel the secret sauce is that many entrepreneurs miss?
I will say rest. Yeah. So you can't really produce if you're not in the headspace to produce, and that's whatever you're doing. If you're an artist, or you're make body butters, whatever it is,
Mhm.
you have to allow your mind to rest. Once, especially if you're a creative, that's really, really important. If you're somebody that creates, however you create, rest. You have to give your mind time to catch up and to dream. And a lot of my recipes happen when I'm sleeping, so I let myself rest, and then it's like, oh, wait a minute, because now my mind is fresh and clear, and then the inspiration comes. So um definitely don't neglect your body, don't neglect your health, don't neglect your nutrition, and all of that wraps up in just resting and taking breaks, and
Mhm.
realizing that it doesn't have to be go, go, go. I know my light is going. um, but realizing that it doesn't have to be go, go, go all the time, and that you can, take time for yourself, because it actually helps your business. So yeah, definitely I would say rest. Let me get some
Yeah.
light.
Oh,
Sorry.
there you are. It's okay.
There we go.
Mm,
Yeah.
okay, it's a little striped on one side, but we're
Oh, I'm sorry.
let's see.
Does that help a little bit? There we go.
Yeah, that's better. That's a little
There
more
we go.
even. Yes. All right. I don't want you to have a striped shadow.
I know. I'm trying to poke it a little. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so definitely take breaks, rest. It helps you. It helps you. And I know a lot of people feel like you have to, always be on it and always be busy and always go, go, go. And if you're not going, you're not building. But, you know, if you're not building well, again, you're going to break, and you're not going to build. You might miss things. And I've done that. There are things that I've missed because I was tired. Had I just taken that moment to recuperate and center myself and just say, Shauna, take a break, and I learned from those things. That's why I can say that now. And I'm not to say that I'm perfect or my business is
Right.
perfect. There are going to continue to be bumps along the road, but I've definitely learned that take a break,
Mhm.
and rest, and your creativity will flow when your mind is nice and clear. So don't negate that. That's a big deal.
Yeah, I feel like maybe where you are in North Carolina, maybe is that different from Brooklyn? I think I mean, a lot of New Yorkers have moved to the Carolinas, but
Yeah.
in general, it has a little bit more of a relaxed vibe than that hustle and grind till you die
Oh,
New York mentality.
when I tell you, it is so different here, and it takes some getting used to. And especially if you're not here full time, I feel like if you're here all year round, it's easy for you to, like, well, not easy, but you'll adapt faster. But then when you're back and forth, and then you go back, and then you're in New York, and everything is different, and go, 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 and then you come here, everybody is so much more laid back, and so much more focused on family, and no one wants to work on weekends. And I'm like, what is that? Sometimes if I need some, like maybe an electrician or something, and no, no, I'm sorry, I can come Monday, and I'm like, but it's Thursday, and why can't you come Saturday? Or there's a bakery near me, and they're closed all Saturday from 2 p.m. all Sunday. They're closed Monday. And you're like, what is that? Like, that's called rest, that they spend that time with their family. They have Sunday dinners. And for New York, that's like, what? Like, could we? And you go back into, but I need a cake. Like, why are you not open? I need you to. And they're like, no, I'm taking that time for myself. So it takes a lot of getting used to. And then, when I'm back in New York, and I have to remember, I have to switch that off, because now everybody wants to go, go, go again. So, but yeah, it's definitely different here. And I appreciate that. It opened my eyes to what's possible. So
Yes. Can you make your light just a tad bit brighter? Is that possible?
let's see. I'm using it on another phone, so I don't know where it should be. I'm sorry.
It's
I
okay.
wasn't meaning to be out here this late.
It's okay. That's a little bit better. I mean, we can see you a little bit better.
Is that better?
Nice golden sunset glow.
There you go. It's a glow. I have that. So when I grew up in Guyana until I was about 13. And so we had regular scheduled blackouts. So Wednesday night at 6 p.m. until 9 p.m. there was no electricity. So this is my childhood glow, the glow of a candle. So yeah,
It's all coming full circle.
it is. Yeah.
So let's, before we wrap things up, let everyone know, share with the world how they can reach out to you, how they can get your fabulous teas and spices and all of your other delectable recipes.
Yeah, so everything is available online at tastingqueensmarket.com. We are also, I'm going to, on my Instagram, it's at Tasting Queens Market. And there's also going to be, I'm going to put that up actually this weekend, a link tree, because we are also available in a couple of other um, online vendors that carry our products. But for right now, tastingqueensmarket.com, at Tasting Queens Market on Instagram. We do live cooking videos, cooking classes still once a month. Subscribe to the website for recipes and other cooking tips, and also coupon codes. And on Facebook, we're just search Tasting Queens Market and you'll find us.
Cool, yummy. All right. So thank you.
Thank you. And my glow, my gold glow is interesting.
It's all right. We had good light for most of.
I know. I don't know. I'm trying to move it, but it seems to be making it weird. That's okay.
So, did you have any last business pearls or gems you wanted to share before we wrap up?
I want to also say that don't be afraid to ask for help. And I'm a type A person where I normally solve problems myself, and I go and do things myself, and I feel like I can handle it all myself, and I learned really early in this process, in this entrepreneur life, to ask for help. And I would like to say, just friends, family, if you need a moment or whatever, you need help with something, or also reaching out to other people that you see might be in a similar avenue as you. Don't be afraid to ask and say, hey, how'd you do that? Like, how'd you get there? How'd you accomplish this? Or simple things like, how do you set up your Instagram shop or your Facebook shop? Like, if it's that practical, whatever it is, ask. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to reach out to people. If someone, doesn't respond the way you want to, shake that off and ask again, someone else. Don't be afraid to ask for help. I have received so much help. Besides my family, there have been people who have coached me, and giving me pearls and ideas, and like, oh, you could do this. I'm like, oh wait, that is a good idea. And if I had not reached out or accepted their help, that's the other thing. There's sometimes people offer help and people just won't accept it. No, I got this. Be willing to just accept help, right? And so that's the other thing. Rest and ask and take and accept help.
Yeah, no sense letting pride get in the way when you can get
No,
help.
pride goeth before a fall. So
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And
Thank you.
you're welcome. Congratulations on all of your upcoming business adventures. And
Yes,
have a
thank you.
wonderful night.
Thank you. You too. Take care.
Thanks.